I get asked to talk about Voyageurs National Park, I can't help but light up. You can have incredibly special experiences seeing wildlife, being outside, and knowing that this is a place you can always return to and it will be here for you.
I am so very passionate about this area of the planet of Minnesota. It's Minnesota's only national park. I think my first trip was when I was 6 months old. I feel at home when I'm here, and I feel a sense of peace that I haven't found in the entire world.
We taught my kids to swim in Cavtogma. My kids are 6 and 3, so it's all about watching wildlife. We watch for the beaver that'll go by.
I have a 13-year-old daughter, and she's been coming to the park since she was 2 months old. You know, it's great to be able to get kids out into the park and get them out into nature.
I have 2 daughters. I want to make sure places like Voyageurs National Park are here for them forever, for their grandchildren. This is a living laboratory. We're investing in this place.
I think it's important to get kids and the general public involved in national parks because I think it's an experience that not everyone grows up with, especially if you grew up in a big city area and you're not exposed to camping or hiking or nature in general. I think it's important to get people from diverse backgrounds out here so that we can continue teaching why these places are so valuable.
I think it's important to get people, kids and families especially, into national parks because people who are in national parks are the people who are going to protect our planet. And when you get people into a national park, they get to know a really incredible resource.
The Voyageurs Classroom Initiative is how we are approaching getting K-12 students and college students into the park and experiencing it. And into the park can be actual experiences, field experiences on the park grounds and on the water. It can also be virtual experiences in their classroom where they get a chance to really interact with rangers from the park or conservancy professionals who can tell them more about the science and social studies and history of this place.
One of our future priorities working with the Voyageurs Classroom Initiative is to assure that we tell the story of the cultures that have been tied to the lands of Voyageurs National Park, including the Ojibwe, the Boys Fort, the Grand Portage, the Red Lake, and all the different bands of the Ojibwe people that have been tied to the lands of Voyageurs National Park for generations in the past, still tied to it today, and continue to be tied to these lands for generations in the future.
So we're building a joint education program between Voyageurs National Park and Voyageurs Conservancy to ensure that we have a solid program that can last over time, over funding cycles. It's important for us to have a joint education program because it builds a stronger partnership between our organizations. It makes it possible for us to reach more students because we have the expertise and the deep love of the park from the Park Service employees, and then we have the folks who really understand the relevance to the folks around Minnesota from the Conservancy. And so we're able to connect these two pieces to really build an exciting joint program.
Voyageurs National Park is special, I think, because we have a resource here which usually isn't addressed with many of our national parks, and that is our waterways. We protect many times the geology and the cultural history and the animals, and so I feel like it's really cool that Voyageurs, being such a water-based park, we really take extra precautions in preserving that as a valuable resource.
Voyageurs National Park has some of the most outstanding waters within the state of Minnesota. Unfortunately, dealing with invasive exotic species is always a challenge. And just last year in 2021, the state of Minnesota, through the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, identified zebra mussel larvae within Black Bay of Rainy Lake. We've worked very closely with Voyageurs Conservancy to assure that we can increase our boat decontamination process out at Kettle Falls this summer. It's always challenging dealing with invasive species, but our hope is that we can eliminate the zebra mussels from moving from Rainy Lake up the watershed.
Voyageurs National Park is such a special place. And I think people should become involved, whether it's volunteering, contributing. Definitely, I'd love for you to become a member and be a part of the collective, the group that thinks this place is important and want to share it with many people who haven't been to the park, giving them exposure that Minnesota has a national park that we can experience.
If you believe in wild places like Voyageurs National Park, you should be a member of Voyageurs Conservancy.
I am a member of Voyageurs Conservancy, and I highly recommend that you try it out as well. I think even if you don't make it up here ever, it's still important. This place still exists. I would hope that you could come and enjoy it, but if not, help us protect it.
So every person that steps foot in Voyageurs National Park, every gateway business, the Conservancy, the Park Service, we all have a role in protecting this land. And the teamwork in that, collaborating and protecting it together is the only way to really preserve what we have up here.
As a guide service, our livelihood and our way of life rely on healthy fisheries and clean water. Voyageurs National Park is so special because it's one of the few places in the world that still feels untouched and is truly pristine. And keeping it that way is very important for all gateway businesses and visitors.
A great program that we were able to start in cooperation with the Voyageurs Conservancy in 2021 is our Voyageurs Field Fellowship internship opportunity, where we bring college students into the park and provide them opportunities to work in the field in education, in aquatics, and now in wildlife as well. Matter of fact, this summer we'll have 5 interns working with us. Through this program and through the partnership with the Conservancy, able to actually provide those internship students with a reasonable stipend where we weren't able to do that in the past. And it gives the students a great opportunity to garner real-life field experience that they'll be able to use in their college career and eventually, hopefully, in their conservation career once they move on from college.
Thank you so much, Voyageurs Conservancy members, for all that you do. Your support means so much to us in protecting these national parks and providing the outreach to the public so that everyone can continue enjoying these special areas.
And I just want to say thank you to the Conservancy members. Through all the work you do, we've been able to build new trails like at Makuta, and we're able to get kids into the park, which is incredibly important. So really thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do.
I've been working with the National Park Service for many years, and through my career, the one thing I know is that there's no way that the National Park Service can care for these special places just by ourselves. I want to thank all of you as Voyageurs Conservancy supporters. From the National Park Service team, we're so grateful for our partnership, and we look forward to all of the great things that we can do in the future.